A very good morning to our beloved doctor and fellow friends. Today we would like to talk about infancy. Before that, we are from Group 2. My name is Nur Hafiza binti Abdul Wahid and my friends is Siti Nur Shazana binti Mausing and then Nur Hazima binti Muhammad Syarifin. Okay, now let's talk about infancy. For this video, we will explain about what is the infancy stage, characteristic of infancy, what happened during infancy, nutrition during infancy, and then 3 stages in infancy of development. Next, infant's development and recommended food, and last is sample meal plan for a 1-year-old. What is infancy? Infancy is the first period of life when they are a baby, usually including the time from birth to about 1 year old. Then we move to characteristic of infancy. First, infancy is the shortest of all developmental period. Time when the fetus must adjust to life outside the uterine wall of the mothers where it has for 9 months. And then second, infancy is a time of radical adjustment such as breathing, sucking, swallowing, elimination. Infants must begin to breathing on their own when umbilical cord is cut. Then babies begin to sucking and swallowing. Elimination, infants begin to show signs of developmental progress in behavior. And then hazardous period. 2 types of hazardous period. First, physically and psychologically. Physically is difficult making radical adjustment to new environment. Psychological is a time when the attitude of significant people towards infants are crystallized. And the last is a preview of later development.
I am Siti Nur Shazana and I will explain about what happened during infancy and the developmental stages of infancy. Firstly, during infancy, the baby doubles in length and triples in weight. Second, the baby teeth start to come in, usually at about 6 months of age. Third, the baby starts smiling, paying attention to other people and grabbing toys. Fourth, the baby begins making babbling sound. By the end of the first year, the baby is starting to say a few words such as mama and dada. Fifth, the baby learns to sit, crawl, and stand. By the end of the first year, the baby may be starting to walk. Next, we move to the developmental stage of infancy. Developmental stage of infancy can be divided into 3 stages, which is first, physical development, second, social emotional development, third, intellectual development. From birth to 6 months. First, physical development. At birth, infants cannot control their body movement and most movements are reflex. Infants' nervous system is not fully developed and they can see clearly objects that are about 10 inches away from their faces. By 4 months, most babies have some control of their muscle and nervous system. They can sit with support, hold their head up for a short periods of time, and can roll from their side to their stomach. By 5 months, most babies can roll over. By 6 months, the baby vision is more fully developed. Secondly, social and emotional development from birth to 6 months. Infants develop trust as their parents meet their needs. For example, changing their diapers, feeding them, and holding them when they cry. When frightened, infants cry and look surprised and afraid. They cry to express anger, pain, and hunger. It is their way of communicating. They are easily excited or upset. They need to be cradled and comforted. Next, infants smile in response to a pleasant sound or a full stomach. At about 6 weeks, they smile in response to someone else. By 4 months, they smile broadly, laugh when pleased. and learn to recognize face and voice of parents. Third, intellectual development from birth to 6 months. At this stage, infants babble, coo, and gurgle. They study their hands and feet. They turn to locate the sources of sound. Infants can focus on and follow moving objects with their eyes. Next, they explore things with their mouth. They put anything they can hold into their mouth. They cry in different ways to express hunger, anger, and pain. They forget about objects that they cannot see. Next, from 6 to 12 months. First, physical development. Infants take a nap in the morning and afternoon. They eat and sleep at regular times, and also eat 3 meals a day and drink from bottle at various times. Infants start using a cup and a spoon to feed themselves, and they also can sit alone. Infants crawl with their stomach touching the floor and creep on their hand and knee. By 8 months, infants can reach for and hold objects. They pick up objects with their thumbs and forefinger and drop things and also throw things. They pull up to stand. They also stand holding onto furniture and walk when licked. By 12 months, infants wake 3 times from what they wake at birth. Infants gain about 1 inch per month. Average infants at 1 year may be between 26 to 30 inches long. Secondly, social and emotional development from 6 to 12 months. Infants respond when you say their names. They fear strangers and fear being left by their parents. They also get angry and frustrated when their needs are not met in a reasonable amount of times. Infants will talk to themselves in front of a mirror. They begin to learn what is allowed and not allowed. Eye contact begins to replace some of the physical contact that the younger infants seek. Thirdly, intellectual development from 6 to 12 months. Infants wave bye-bye and play pet a cake and also respond to simple direction. They look for things not inside and make sound like dada and mama. They begin to pretend by acting out the familiar activities. They also make sound that can be understood by people who know them well. Infants repeat action that can cause a response, such as when given a rattle, they will shake it and laugh. By 12 months, many infants can speak at their first understandable words.
Nutrition during infancy. Infants grow during first year and then will be reflect nutrient intake, birth weight change, infant's length, and then energy requirement there are twice that of an adult. Babies also need calcium, fat, iron, protein, carbohydrate, zinc, vitamin, and so on. Calcium to help build strong bone and teeth, and then fat they create energy, help the brain develop, keep skin and heart healthy, and protect against infection. Folate for the help cell divide. For iron, build blood cell. Protein and carbohydrate, they provide energy and fuel growth. Zinc help the cell growth and repair themselves. For vitamin A, they keep skin and immune system healthy. Vitamin B1 help the body turn food into energy, and then vitamin B2 help the body turn food into energy also, and then protect cell from damage. But however, breast milk is the best source of nutrition for babies and during the first 6 months, but formula can be a good alternative.
I am Hazima. I will explain about the infant development and recommended food. For the baby 0 to 4 months, the feeding skill is turn head toward any object that bruises cheek. Then initially swallow using back of tongue. Gradually begins to swallow using front of tongue as well. Next, strong reflex extrusion to push food out during first 2 to 3 months. For the appropriate food added to the diet is feed breast milk or infant formula. Then, for the 4 to 6 months, the feeding skill are extrusion reflex diminish and the ability to swallow non-liquid food developed. The baby indicate desire for food by opening mouth and leaning forward. And the baby also indicates satiety or a disinterest by turning away and leaning back. They also sit erect with support at 6 months. Baby will begin chewing action and bring hand to the mouth and also grabs object with palm of hand. For the appropriate food added to the diet is begin iron fortified cereal mixed with breast milk, formula or water, and begin pureed mixed legumes, vegetables and fruits. Next, for the 6 to 8 months, the feeding skill are able to self-feed finger foods and the baby develop pincer finger to thumb grabs and also begin to drink from the cup. For the appropriate food added to the diet are begin texture vegetable and fruit and begin unsweetened diluted fruit juice from the cup. For the 8 to 10 months, the feeding skill are the baby begins to hold own bottle, reaches for and grabs food and spoon. The baby sit unspotted. For the appropriate food added to the diet are begin breaks and cereal from table and begin pieces of soft cooked vegetable and fruit from table. Last for 10 to 12 months, the feeding skill is the baby begins to master spoon but still spill some. For the appropriate foods added to the diet are add variety and gradually increase portion size. The portion size for infant and young children are smaller than those for an adult. For example, a grain serving might be half of bread instead of one slice or 1/4 cup rice instead of half cup. Then I will talk about the sample meal plan for a 1-year-old baby. For the breakfast, the menu is 1 scrambled egg, 1 slice whole wheat toast, and half cup reduced fat milk. For the morning snack, the menu is half cup yogurt, half fruit. The fruit can strengthen a baby's immune system and help fight illness. Then for the lunch, the menu are half grilled cheese sandwich, 1 slice whole wheat bread with half sliced cheese, half vegetable, example steamed carrots. Because carrots are easy for babies to swallow and digest, most babies like the taste because they have a natural preference for sweet. And 1/4 100% fruit juice. For the afternoon snack, the menu are half fruit and half toast eat cereal. Last is for the dinner. The menu are 1 ounce chopped meat or 1/4 well-cooked mashed legume, half rice or pasta, half vegetable, example chopped broccoli. Vegetable can prevent hemorrhaging in babies, and the chopped broccoli high in vitamin C and the soft of fiber soluble, and half cup reduced fat meat. That's all from us. Thank you.